Welcome back to the Titanium Hanger, coming at you with the weekly news and review for the 23rd of November, 2025. And I am thankful. I'm thankful that there is some news this week. It's not as much Transformers news as usual, but way more Transformers news than any other franchise that's out there. So we'll get into talking about all of that. There's some more Street Fighter stuff going on that we will talk about Monday. Pre-order start on E-Honda. And other stuff going on out there. Toy Habits has shown us that we're going to be getting a Wondar figure in the Masterverse, and there's other Motu stuff in the going-ons this week. I did make a video about this, but I will touch back upon this. I actually have a theory on these releases. I think I've cracked the code for like a quarter of it, but the other 75% is still unknown. This is Sammy's Toy Collectibles picture. I gotta say this. BBTS is shipping individual vehicles for mask for the loyal subjects. But I'll tell you what I'm waiting for. What I want to know. There's something I want to know. Still don't know. Still don't have the answer. Got the answer to this. This is not gonna fun. It's got 1,300 and at this point 2 days to go. By the time you watch this, like a day and a half to go. So if you want to back it and not have to pay for it because it's not going to fund, you could do that. Probably. I don't know. Most of Star Wars news is about Black Friday sales. I'll touch on some Black Friday sales and things that are going on. And I promise not to make fun of anybody for buying the Emperor for $100 after I said, you know, they'll reissue it when it was going for $100. You remember those days? While y'all watch the news, I'm going to be reading a 33,000 page document that's recently been declassified, so some goodies in there. It's probably a short read, though. Here's the news coming up. Alright, what's new in Show Z store? Fans Toys FT21 Berserker Blitzwing is on sale for $189.99, 5% off. And here's the thing, last I checked on this, it was sold out, so I think when I did my review of it, it was sold out. So now it came back in stock, or it's a coming soon, is what it's on sale with a coming soon, however that works. But still, probably the best price around there. But what else is coming soon? And we've got the X-Transbots MX44T Gravedigger. The youth version, my youth is completely gone, but I have youth versions as toy versions of the X-Transbots figures. I hope that's back metalized, by the way, on the chest. And we've been seeing the last couple, or at least the last one, didn't have back metal. We'll see when it shows up. But I did pay for this, so I got the payment request, so I paid for it. Has not shipped yet, should be shipping soon. And the Toy Razor, yes, X-Transbot sells toy razors for their Constructicon, is still on pre-order. And let me point this out, though. These toy versions have enhanced deco and are $20 to $30 cheaper than their counterparts, the first release. And I am building the combined mode out of the standard ones. I'm going to display the toy ones as my bot mode, and I'm also doing Fans Toys. Alright, so Show Z has got some pictures of the DX9. They're Prowl, and they call them Devetiv. Is that what they still call them? Anyway, here's some different head sculpts. The one on the left looks fantastic, I think. The one on the right, I just don't know where they got that from, but it is what it is. Different head sculpts that are coming. I see this on Show Z Store. Then this shows I guess everything in the box. And people are getting a lot of hate for this, mostly because Fans Toys is coming, and they're like, well, they're going to wait for the Fans Toys. So DX9, it looks better. Well, I don't know. I actually don't know. I'm still probably going to get it, compare it. It'll be fun to compare all three, right? And that's kind of what I do, especially since you guys hit TH and support the reviewer, help the channel out. I do stuff like that. Here is the back of it, in the back. So still, it's a pretty fun release. And the fact we haven't gotten a Prowl, another one, since Takara back in like 2012. Huge shout out to Streak Shooter. One of the things when you're transforming the Magic Square Space Shuttle, which is Blast Off, which is the last component to complete Bruticus, having all these things together internally and then closing up the shell part of the shell former makes a lot more sense if you try to just squeeze it together once you built the shell. There's just not enough pressure for the magic square tabs. Need a lot of pressure. So streak shooter. I watched this video. I was like, I wonder if there's a tip I could get in here or get out of this that might just help mine go together a little better. But I mean, it was like 90% there. Anyway, that's a really good tip. Make all those internal connections before you close the thing up. I think that in the past weeks we kind of saw these companies kind of blow a load of all of their reveals, and now it's going to be all over the place on what's left. These are scraps, and I'll tell you why we're probably going to see scraps of news for the next few weeks going into the new year, all the way through the rest of the year. But there'll still be news, kind of like this week. But check this out. This is going to be RoboSyn, and they're going to do a sound wave, and it's going to be like an official reveal. The date of this official reveal is December 4th. So this is like the reveal. Check it out. A reveal of a reveal. It's a reveal party. And so that's news. Technically, it classifies as news. We have classified G.I. Joe news too. Yellow Park, AMK Pro, Transformers, Age of Extinction, Drift, color samples. Like, we've seen this, but this is the color sample, as in it is getting close to being done. And I want to say this. I really like Yellow Park and what they do. And especially since it is, let's just say, looks kind of masterpiecey in about an 8.5-inch scale. Price-wise, usually around 60 or something like that. Still pretty nice, pretty decent overall. All that said, I think I'm passing. I can't buy everything. There is some Blockies stuff. It just seems to be like the takeover of Blockies. They got a lot of stuff going on, but Transformers Classic, Dark of the Moon, Megatron and Bumblebee in-hand images, if that's something that you're interested in. And then, so I did get some Blockies. I got the really tiny ones, but I'm not sure the scale on all of this stuff that's coming out, because this one here is going to be the Dark of the Moon Megatron, and it looks like they got him on a throne there. I'm sure that's just the way it looks, but you know, some sort of background they made, I guess. Still looks really cool with all that's got going on there. And if you're in on the Blockies and you're in on the movie stuff, then you'll be really happy about that. I just feel like this is one of the bigger ones because of the aesthetic. And we've got some Blockies wheels, Transformer CO1 rollout in-hand images from Notrab at the Weibo. And they look pretty good. These are some very easy to build kits. And 1/64th scale is Hot Wheels scale. And it has die-cast parts, which looks like pretty good paint. So it would fit in with your Hot Wheels collection in a way, if you're into all that. This is the LaserCat JGM-SKP02 Mini Azura SD Volcanicus color sample, kind of the chibi style. And chibi is, there's a lot of that going on right now. So with that, the one I got I like. I've got the Nemesis Prime. I thought it looked pretty cool. And with that, but I'm not really building a collection of it. Some people are. And, you know, with all of the stuff going on with Funko going away, if you kind of like sort of that style. I hate to even associate it with Funko, but I get the same vibe. At least these transform, right? So Galaxy Toys is putting out pictures for their Seekers, for these mini, like 2-inch or something like that, the Sub-Legends scale. So scale number 28. And I'm not joking. I'm laughing. Not joking. But these are mini 12, 13, and 14 color renditions. Classic Seekers. 2.1 inches tall. There it is. War for Cybertron Micromasters. They're actually putting them in the Micromaster scale specifically. Now, moving on from like third-party Masterpiece and all that kind of stuff to regular Hasbro, but there's more to the third-party story because I have a story later. Small story, but it has something to do with Masterpiece and all that kind of stuff. But this story is something different. This is Amazon Japan Transformers Wild King Christmas Bundle Pack, and you get either a figure with a game, or not game, a figure with a bag. A game would be more fun, I guess, but figure with a bag or a figure with a bag of whatever. You know, I'm not into all of this kind of stuff, but again, there are people that are, and it's Christmassy, it's kind of fun, and, you know, most people might buy this for a collector and just randomly get you something. Don't know. You might like it, you might not. It's actually really hard to be a non-collector, to be a spouse, and to be buying something for your spouse. Other than it's my holy grail I've been looking for. All right, I'll just go out and buy it for whatever it costs, because that happens sometimes too. But it'd be like a fun little gift, I guess, if that's what you want. Studio Series teasers from Takara, meaning that it's Takara put them out, not the Hasbro, so slight different color renditions, but lately they've been almost spot on exactly the same. The TF1 Orion Pax and Devastation Bumblebee, and first look at them in this package of shaded. Next week we'll get better pictures. That's just how it goes. And by the way, some people might have been curious, are you going to stop talking about the news? No chance. I'm definitely still talking about Hasbro news, even though I don't actively really seek out Hasbro stuff anymore. Takara, only the masterpiece. Remember those helmets that we were showing, the NFL helmets? This is Transformers Tundra Prime in hand images. Let's see who brought them to us. It's Midwest Jacques. Did I say it? I'm sorry, I hijacked that wrong. But this is how it is next to the... So this is the white version of Prime that is the deluxe scale, and it's sort of like Missing Link, but shorter, smaller, and no paint. That's pretty much a good way to explain it. There it is, side by side. That's how it looks. We'll be getting the Missing Link pretty soon. The Missing Link version should be coming pretty soon of Ultra Magnus, and people are pretty stoked about that. But I think this football figure looks better than I intended, and it's taller than I thought. I mean, you're taller than I expected. It's kind of a reference from a figure we're going to see that's getting reissued. Grievously being issued. Officially licensed Transformers Key Blasters found at US retail. And there it is, Key Blasters. Kind of like stuff we saw back in the day. I actually have a handful of those keys from the old vintage ones that look like keys. You push the button, it's supposed to like make them go. These look way different, the keys themselves. I mean, they're sign of times where you have your fob on your keys. Bet if you said key fob back in the 80s, somebody thought it was a bad word. All right, we've got some pre-orders. I guess you can pre-order this everywhere now. At Entertainment, okay, TF Source, Entertainment Earth, Big Bad Toy Store, Robot Kingdom, Chosen Prime, H3 and up 4, G2, Dinobot, Swoop and Sludge, which never got produced back in the day, so now we can have them in those colors. Wished they would have had like shinier paint to them, but I mean, I guess the rest of them don't either. But anyhow, then we also have, yeah, they're a 2-pack for $110. And then Timelines, Optimus Prime and Starscream, figure 2-pack, iconic characters, all that up for pre-order right now. Transformers Age of the Primes, Wave 3, Voyager, out in the UK, and there it is. You can get yourself an Alpha Trion or a Flatline, and in the UK, and I have not seen the Alpha Trion here in the US in the stores. I still look every day, well, every day I go. 2 more Transformers Earth Rise specials are coming from Paramount via Paramount Plus on December 5th. Hometown Heroes and Legacy of Hope will premiere on the streaming site. And if of note, it's a nice surprise seeing Liege Maximo in the animation mix. So if that's what that means, there you go. Have some fun with it if you enjoy the show. Speaking of having fun with the show, Stan Bush and Vince DiCola are going to be performing at Whiskey A Go Go Saturday, March 14th, 2026. I gotta say this though, and one of the things I did leave out of my Friday video I really wanted to talk about was when I have time off when I was working a lot and I would go drive hours to buy collections. I always had the whole soundtrack in my car. It really helped me de-stress while I'm driving. Listening to that just brought me back. But great music, lots of fun. Definitely made a mark on me. All right, so we TFCon Los Angeles, March 13th to the 15th. Special guest Richard Newman, voices of Rhinox and Tankor, and some other good stuff. Here's the thing, third-party panel. We're going to see that there, and so between now and then, we'll probably get some releases, some images and stuff but there'll be some special things for that. They're also already talking about the October TFCon, and it's getting so late in the year that everything you hear about is either in December or next year. And the majority of everything you're hearing about right now is 2026 stuff. That's why I refuse to buy a game digitally only, and I'll just do without if it's a digital only. I refuse to buy any digital only game. So Transformers Battlegrounds leaves stores at the end of December. Now, they say it'll stay in your library and all that kind of stuff, but I've seen in the past people get burned. They spend their whatever, however much. I don't even know how much this costs somebody to buy, but it's just the thought process on the fact that it can go away. But yet my 1988 NES game cartridge still is there, and I can still play it if I want to. So with that, I'm not a big fan of spending money on digital only. And well, I guess I don't think the gaming industry will care if they completely lose me, but if it ever goes to digital only, I'm done. Done. Laser Cat Toys. This is another picture of the JGM SKP02 Dinobots. I guess that I missed it. Did I miss it? Missed it. Did I miss it? So anyway, kind of cool stuff. I probably should have grouped this in with that, but my tabs all got out of order, so it is what it is. So there we go. And there's an alt mode for you, and it's deep into production. More chibi stuff going on. All right, so I do want to point out that you could go right now for $22 and get this Origins Red Shadow figure if you'd like. Not a huge hurry because it's still there, and it went up for pre-order whatever day this was, Tuesday I think, but I don't remember. But with that, you can get this figure, but the figures on either side of it, and I think it's a club only. These are all club only, club membership, so you got to pay your $10 to be in the club. But the ones on the side of it are $14 each. They're on sale. So I'm thinking about, by the 26th, just getting me one of each of the ones on sale and doing that round, and then waiting 6 more figures and then doing whatever's on sale then. I think that's the most fiscally responsible way to go with Masters of the Universe going forward. I mean, I advocate for that because that's what I'm doing. And I'm not picking this guy up right away. I don't think he's going to sell. Look how big he is, though. Big dude. I wonder. Who's better? Is it going to be the Classics, which is pictured here? I believe this is the Classics one. Or the Masterverse version? And with that, if you're into it, then you might get excited for this. It's going to be in what they call the Vintage Collection, which is probably my favorite part of what's going on with Masters of the Universe right now. But anyhow, with all that, it looks pretty cool. It looks pretty good. I don't really think I need a Wondar in that scale, but a lot of people do. Alright, a few people do. Now, although I made a video about this, I'm going to touch on it in the news because not everybody's watched my video on this. But this is the next wave. Is it Wave 6? Is that what it is? Wave 6? Anyhow, we're getting a Cobra Commander reissued with now a baton and a cape. And then we're getting Mara, and go watch my video. I pretty much sum up the Mara story in that video for you. Scarlet and Snake Eyes. Snake Eyes glows in the dark red, and Scarlet is what I believe is a new buck for a female, but it might be the same buck they're using for females. But I think they're just going to be releasing several other females in Arctic gear and swap the heads and a little bit different paint. But yeah, there it goes. I rate this a 60. It's not a bad rating. I'm just saying that I would have preferred different characters. Wouldn't have gone all that route. But now if you look at this, you see that what they've done in the past with the reaction line, not the O-ring reaction line like we just saw, but these are standard reaction figures, which I think they look nice, but it's kind of the opposite of what G.I. Joe was doing back in the day with enhanced articulation. These go backwards. I think we're going to see all of these in O-ring, actual real O-ring form, because we've already got the Bat, we already got the Cobra Commander, and I just think we're going to get them all. I think all these figures are eventually going to get made. We're eventually going to see one way, shape, or form in the O-ring line, and then a good repaint to this. I mean, it just makes sense, and they're just going systematically in order here already. It's like a checklist. Is Destro next? For those of you who collect Centurions, Killer Centurions from the 80s, unproduced Cyber War Panther and Cyber War Shark. Now these are basically custom figures created by Anson, also Long, goes by those two names, and you find them in Facebook groups for Centurions. The thing is that these weren't made before. They're on the unreleased list. You can see that this picture kind of shows that you can swap stuff around with them. And this would be more of the normal look. I hope I get them right in editing because they're very similar pictures in here, but pretty cool stuff. It's kind of one of those things where he's not making a ton of these because this is not something that would have mass market appeal, but he does it for the love of it, and it's so impressive. I'm impressed with all his work. I review all of his stuff on the channel also, but he's working on this right now, and it's amazing. He's doing some amazing stuff and impressive stuff that I never thought would ever get made. So huge shout out, and actually a huge thanks for just bringing this to life for collectors. Retro Toyscapades put up this picture. This is, I guess, his copy of the Thunderhawk. Not 100% sure, but this is Loyal Subjects. Their stuff's starting to show up. I have these in my BBTS cart, my pile of loot. Just the Thunderhawk, and what is the other one? The Condor. So I've got just those two, and I do have pre-ordered the deluxe set. But I want to say this: I am not sure how they're doing the Scott and T-Bob. So if it's carded, I'm definitely going to stick with the set. If it's not, and it's just like packed in there weird, whatever, if it's not going to be a true carded one, I probably will cancel that because I don't really have a need for it. I don't know, I'm on the fence. Stuff's getting expensive on these, but it is fun watching other people review expensive stuff. And there it is, the Rhino. This is Sammy's Sammy's Collectibles Toys Haul. Just want to make sure I say it in the right order here. And he's on YouTube. He's got almost 20,000 subscribers, and he's usually putting up videos really, really fast as soon as information hits and breaks, and a lot of times way quicker than I get to it. So with that, I want to shout that out to him also. But being able to put these pictures up, I will say this: the brand new vac metal, the perfect gleam of the plastic, the stickers being not worn. It is nice having nice new mask stuff. Mine all has wear to it and is old, but nothing of mine I would say is cherry mint. But I mean, most of it's halfway decent. But this is like a step above because it's brand new. Next we got pictures of Rom and Toy and their updated pictures of their battle bones. This thing is magnificent. It really is. It's from that carrying case back in the day. Bad to the bone, not battle bone. I said it wrong. Now I said it right. And it's pretty cool. Pretty interesting. It's probably not something I'm getting, but I still appreciate that it's getting made. And the massively high quality they're putting into it. And then as you can see right now, you can clip your figures into it, or you can do this and just have bones. Either way. And you can have it display however you want. And that's an option, which is very, very interesting and definitely was not included in the vintage original one. The original one includes modern day versions of original are broken, most of them. Alright, E-Honda for Jada is supposed to be up for pre-order coming soon. Monday, tomorrow? Monday? Yeah, November 24th, so tomorrow. If you want to get it, get on it, pre-order it. All the usual suspect places, I suspect. I'm going to check Gundam It first, though, because Gundam It got it faster than everywhere else. Probably a little more pricey, but after shipping and all that, and no tax, it was fine for me. So this is also sort of Street Fighter news. The Street Fighter news is at the end of this list of stuff that I don't know much about and will probably pronounce wrong, but I'm going to read it anyway. Mattel, WWE, November 2025, Figure Reveals Part 1. And we have the WrestleMania PLE Ultimate Edition Final Boss, The Rock. Okay, coming to Amazon. That's easy. Then Rock, the old size Rock, not new skinny Rock. Then WWE Championship Assortment Wave 2. And it's going to have Seth Rollins, LA Knight, yeah! And the John Cena. When is there not a John Cena? Then the final boss, Dom Mysterio, John Cena, and Braun Breaker. And then there's going to be Mix 2, top picks, Mix 2, CM Punk and Roman Reigns. Then there's going to be Kevin Owens, Trish Stratus, Penta, Seth Rollins, and Randy Orton in this main event series 163. Then there's going to be Superstar Wave 17 coming to Walmart and Wrestling Shop UK. Axe, Smash, Crush, and Hacksaw Jim Duggan. Yeah, I know what the Hacksaw Jim figure is. I don't really know the person. Then this picture is John Cena as Guile, Batista as Sagat, and Brianna Blair as Cammy. I'm just kind of tired of crossovers. This one was just a mouthful. Alright, so we've got some pirates. This is the Palm Elf series, Captain Hook, Skeleton Pirate, and they all have soft goods and stuff. This is by 101 Toys. The brand is Palm Elf series, and there's 3 of them. They're 144 a piece. I mean, the one I looked up is 144 for these guys. They look cool. They're interesting, soft goods and all that. Quite pricey. But then again, if you really like it, it would fit in for a lot of things. You know, you name it, it probably will work. Then there is a Conan the Barbarian Hero Hacks Conan 1/18 scale action figure by Boss Fights Studio for $30 for a 1/18 scale, meaning the 3.75 to 4-inch scale. But, you know, quite necessary, quite needed to have a Conan. A Conan! Not O'Brien. Okay, so there's an official trailer for the Hunger Games Sunrise on the Reaping, and this is a teaser of the second quarter quell. The Hunger Games. Very interesting. Lots of fun. I'm curious how well it does. It says it'll be in theaters November 20th of 2026. I actually didn't even watch the trailer. Hold on, let me watch it real quick. Looks like there's talks of making another live-action Turtles movie, and that looks interesting. Different and interesting. And here's the thing. Is it really a week if we don't have Turtle news? I mean, I think Turtles probably are the only thing that almost rivals Transformers in the amount of product and companies making product. But they don't. They're only about halfway there. You have the Four Horsemen showing off their naughty and nice series like they usually do around this time. Again, TNI News will have more information about this going forward. It's pretty interesting stuff, fun and festive if you're into all of that. Hey, if you're into all this kind of stuff, you might also still be into the Star Wars seasonal ones, the holiday ones, the Christmas Star Wars ones, but it seems like they're doing less and less of those every year. But it kind of feels like it's in the same realm, in a way. Mezco has a Leader 1 12 scale, the Leader, and he comes with a bunch of stuff. As you can see, generally these run over $100, and it's kind of cool. If you're into this kind of stuff, then you might want to get. I think it looks amazing though, and appears to have some really nice soft goods. And you know, the kids talking about big forehead, got a giant forehead. I mean, my kids talk about that a lot, and yeah, I guess this is what they're talking about. $116. That's the price on this one. So let me get this right here. This is a Hellboy figure that is on a He-Man style buck, Motu, 5.5 inch, comes to life in retro action figure form, and comes with that sword and a gun. You know what Hellboy would come with. It's $30 at Entertainment Earth or Big Bad Toy Store by Boss Fight Studio. Yeah, I should group all the company stuff together, but it's not how it happened this time. Alright, we're getting into Star Wars. This was on a Star Wars site, but I think it's pretty much everything at Entertainment Earth. Spend 100, save 10. Spend 250, save 40 on in-stock items, and I think that even counts if they're on clearance. Now, that's stackable if it works. I haven't bought anything at Entertainment Earth for a while since they got rid of the codes, jacked up the price, so I'm not against it. If it's a deal, it's a deal. So if you find the deal, my problem is that so much stuff is like in and out of stock there. It's really hard to get enough stuff at once to make one of these deals work for me. I'm gonna have some better pictures of this, but what's on sale for Black Friday for Star Wars? If it's in stock anywhere, it's probably on sale, at least 30%, something like that. Who could have seen this coming all year long? And all of the... Okay, I saw it coming all year long. Some of these sales are still significantly more expensive than if you got it at Ross or Ollie's. And, you know, that's a fact. But still, it's kind of fun to get some stuff on clearance and sell if you're in all this stuff. Some of the stuff is an okay price. Some of it is still way too high for me. That's what I said about a lot of my friends in high school, too. So looking at this here, there are some figures for the... This is the vintage collection stuff. And to me, I'm looking at it, I'm thinking, it's on sale for $20. That's weird to just even say it out loud. Vintage collection on sale for $20. On sale for $14. It just feels weird to say it out loud. On sale for $50. I thought that was the original price of the playset. Okay. So that's how little of that stuff I buy, you know, normal price. I literally only buy it at Ross, or I just don't buy it. That's the way I deal with that stuff. Here's some Black Series stuff, which I would say up top, that Ghost and Grievous and all them for $51 is probably a pretty decent deal for those. But I mean, we've already had all this stuff released before. And then I do think that people wanting the throne for Emperor, this is your time. I know Emperor's like a $10 or $7 figure now because of Ollie's Con, but the throne's still hard to get. Well, until now. Affiliate news: Entertainment Earth has reissues available of Grievous, who was hard to get figure for a while, and now it's going to be very easy to get. And you know, one of these clones, whichever clone that is, Scorch. That's the clone, Scorch. New Black Series reissues available, if you're into it. Before I put the next picture up, I've got to build up the suspense on this. If you are Hasbro, and you have literal toy shelf toxic poison, what do you do with that figure? Well, you say, well, send it to Ross and Ollie's. Okay. What Hasbro decided to do was to make it in clear and then send it to Ross and Ollie's along with the original one, so that you can have the choice of both any day and any Ross across the country. Well, that's how it feels for me. But I do think these clear figures are cool. The holocron idea was cool, but to me, it should have only been people that were being hunted down, victims that bounty hunters are hunting down. That's in my opinion. So I don't know if she was ever hunted down. I don't remember. I watched the series once and probably dozed off a few times. It wasn't bad. It wasn't horrible. It still wasn't Star Wars. I kind of started rolling in these things I find around town, downtown. I probably should have bought that McFarlane Miracle, Mr. Miracle. It looks fantastic. I probably should have bought it, but I already have one. I don't need it. I'm getting into the I don't need it category, so I buy it. Although it looks good. This is one of those, I wanted to buy it, but I didn't. Then Walmart's getting this here. These are $25 NECAs. So all this stuff could be $35 or $37. Now it's course corrected to $25. And with that, I mean, there's Beetlejuice in there. There's all kinds of gargoyles, which gargoyles is dead in the water. They're not putting any more gargoyles out. It sucks for gargoyles collectors. Doesn't suck so much for me because it was getting a pain to try to keep up with it all. I still think they are amazing, and even at 36, it's a good value. At 25, it's a great value. 17 at Ross is a really great value. But there's some Gremlins, and man, Gremlins sell. I'm shocked those things are still on the shelf, but pretty good value for some NECA stuff if you're into it. I'm going to leave you with some great holiday cheer and hope you enjoy your turkey. I hope we get this ramen toy bot and boy relatively soon. I'm in for 3 of them. I'm excited for them. But let me know what you guys think about this week's weekly news in review. Are you going to have a great turkey day? Enjoy some turkey? Are you going to eat something other than turkey on turkey day? It'd be a lot of fun to find out. We're doing it all. Turkey, ham, all that stuff. 10 people for family, like always, for dinner. And it's how it goes around here. So I wish y'all well. I hope y'all have a great week. Of course, I'm going to be here every day making videos anyways. Every single day. It's like every day, bro. Fighter and WWE out.